Hello, welcome to the construction of the Milton Valley Railroad. As you might be able to tell from the Milton Valley Railroad, which is clearly still under construction. Hello, Kangofango. Roomsbath, this is the first time that you've been in the chat on the Trainz stream, I think. And I'll bust through. Hello. I think I'll move this a little bit closer without completely bumping into the microphone, of course. Right, so what I want to do today is, well, first thing, I want to work on this area here that I'm indicating. So this unfinished grassy bit there, because this area over here is, while it isn't completely finished, I mean, I still put in signals and maybe a few bits of detail around the place, it is mostly finished. This bit over here, from this point onwards also, a lot of it is mostly done, but this bit here still needs a lot of work, so let's start off by doing that. Right. The whole gang is together. Well, if that were true, then Mr. W and Slovak Eagle and Swidar and Brandt and The Lonely One, all of those people, and of course Anthony Sarson too, all of them would need to be here as well. However, they are probably not here at the moment. But I do know what you mean. Wowzers, we've already had one microphone bump today. Hey, Kangafango? I don't know what you could possibly mean. Not Emichu? Well, Emichu's always here. Right. So, just start filling in some of these houses. And these houses, for these houses, I think I am probably going to put in some driveways, because they are basically right next to the tracks, and that added bit of detail is going to be a bit nice to have, I think. Right. Only missing Emichu, Willis, Mr. W, Slovak Eagle, Brand, Sweder Gaming, and 2002, and The Lonely One, and a few others probably. Connected. Hello, VGR, welcome. Oi, Emichu's always here. Does that mean I have to behave? I mean, if you call that behaving, then yes. Okay, I wanted to get this asphalt spline there. Down here. Right. Sorry. Yes. Among others, I mean. In spirit, we're all here. A ghost? I don't think Ghost Lady's here. I think she's probably waiting until I do a bit more Unity game development before she appears again. Yeah, apologies. Just wanted to get the message sent before the context faded away. Context wouldn't do that to you. Unless you think it's a con. Yes, this bit shouldn't take too long. Also, I should probably decide where I want connecting roads to go. So, I think I'll want a connecting road going down through here like that. And then having houses along here, having houses along there, along here. I think that should work. I will need one of the intersection objects. One of them here. And then I can add a spline point there, and then I don't know which key was it? 1 second, which one is that? Oh, Q, of course. Then I move this, move that. And that is now very, very steep, so I need to correct this a bit. Much better. Although that's still a bit bumpy there. Okay, next intersection. Do I need one there? if you're down here by the tracks and there are houses in front, might as well put one in, considering that we're already here. Although actually it's on a curve, so might work. But the sidewalk's drooping down in front of the intersection. What sidewalk doesn't droop down in front of the intersection? A boring sidewalk, yes, you guessed it. Yes, ghost lady. Okay, next I'll need an intersection here. There we go. Oop, that's the wrong side. There we go. Put one in up here, although that's also on a curve, so that will be a bit interesting as well. A bust through. Have you seen Shardaz's Unity game dev streams from 2020-2021? I don't know the answer to that question. I was around for a few, I think. I think so too. They were late Fridays, yeah. Like that. Straighten these. I've got to do a little bit of work up here, straightening that. Okay, so let's leave it like this for now. And if this is a bit too obvious here, then I'll put in an intersection, a proper intersection in there after. Okay, so let's just go through the list. So this is the, okay, that's that one. Let's put that there. Then I'll go to this one again, why not? And then we'll have a bigger one in the corner. A little bit set back like that. And we'll continue with these ones along here. And then one of these ones. Are these ones also corner ones? Yes, they are. Okay. Let's make sure that this is flat, because otherwise the houses will be floating. Yes, that is the backstory for up. This one, what's the foundation look like here? Well, the foundation is okay so far. If I bring it up a little bit, then the foundation is not very adequate. Well, that kind of works like this. Okay. Let's use another one of these. Two of the same in a row. Okay, then two of these darker ones. Will you put in an Easter egg for this after all? Hold on. Oh. Is that in maybe with a basketball hoop? Is that car in this? Also, how would that work with the time zone? Not time zone, era. With the decade. Maybe worth a check. Well, what do you mean? I don't know when that car is from. Unless, is it in... Does it say... One second. Go back, because apparently that, even though I put a new tab, it opened it in that window. I don't know, the website doesn't have information on when that car was built, I think. You have got 70s police cars on Comment, so... Okay. I see. Well, okay, let's have a quick look. So what is the car actually called? Because on the site there were 3 different... So we've got the Oldsmobile, and we've got Vista, and we've got Cruiser, but they're all 3 different things, so which one is it? Vista car? Oh, that's a train. Hold on, let me switch to manage content as thumbnails. Oop. One second, quickly make a note. There we go, it's fine. I mean, there's this, but that doesn't look like it. I don't know. I can't find it at the moment. If it is there, then I don't have it here at the moment. Okay, I think that's probably enough houses like that. Because there really isn't that much space in this little corner. Though maybe we could have one more. Yeah, one more like that could work. Okay, now let's add the driveways that cars are going to park on. Okay. One over here as well. Kind of sagging a bit. And then I need to put in hedges. No, they'll have the driveways, but park on the pavement anyway. Perhaps. Okay, quickly putting this through here. And I know that... Wait, is that the stream title? What? Route E building? Oh, I see. Well, apparently we are electronically building the route. Yeah, I know that in America, a lot of the time the houses are just in an open, grassy area without hedges or fence or anything between them. But in Trainz, at least on this route, I found that that looks a little bit empty. And so I'm putting in hedges anyway. This is also a very busy road. Well, in TRS-19, cars only very rarely spawn. They broke it. At least with the old regions. There are new regions, well, specific regions you can get on the DLS that have proper car spawning again for TRS-19, but the only ones that I'm aware of that have that are for Europe, not for kind of 50s America, or 60s America, I guess. Okay, let's put a few of these trees along here. Like so. And then a few of these pines like that. Is the Amber and Hancock Tramway set in the same year? I do not know. It is possible, but I do not know. And I think I'll put a little trampoline or something in here, just because you can see that way, and I want something there for you to spot if you do look that way. There we go. Also, I'm still really happy with how this cement plant turned out. I think that's probably got to be one of the most unique industry designs that I've done in Trainz, with it all, the yard tracks all being in a circle like that. There we go. Okay, then I need some carked pars in here, just so that it doesn't look as empty. That's a Google Maps link. Let's have a look. Second, come on. Why is that not opening? Odd. Oh, it is there, just open behind. 1 second. But it's normally worse. Oh, you mean with the cars parked on the pavement? Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. It's like the birthright of being able to walk in places is less important than the right of some small amount of people being able to use their giant motor vehicles. Which is a thing that I'm generally very annoyed about anyway. I think I want a trampoline here. I know, I've placed it on the route somewhere. Flash to the cement works. True. Ah, nice. E202 behind the camera. Let's have a look. 1 second. There we go. And then open that. Oh, that. Yeah. And then this is just in a completely different spot. Also, that bridge, that railway bridge on that image reminds me of the bridge on the Haddon-Court Tramway. No, not Haddon-Court Tramway, the other British, the British map I meant. The British map from Transportiva 2 that I made. They can park on the road, but I am evil if I walk in the road. That's actually an E300. Ah. Okay. So, what do I need? I need cars. Unfortunately. Yeah, I mean, but here in the UK we've got it good, because in America it is a legal offense if you just cross the road at a non-pre-designated point. I mean, that just goes so many steps too far. The whole concept of jaywalking genuinely annoys and offends me, and I don't say that often. Right, I wanted to grab these and put them down here. Actually, I already got some of those down here, hold on. Oh yeah, jaywalking is stupid, but freedom, right? Yeah. I want... Yeah, see, now I'm in a situation where I'm trying to find singular cars from this time period, and I'm just not finding them. Although, I might place a few more of these splines. I completely forgot about those before. Someone should really get rid of the whole concept of jaywalking once and for all. Well, the way jaywalking got started is that back when cars were new, there were motoring clubs where rich people who owned cars got together and drove their cars for fun, often quite fast. And because people were just walking across the road, as they had done for literally thousands of years, the people who drove their cars very fast couldn't drive their cars very fast without endangering them. And so, because of corruption, yes, I'm saying that it's because of corruption, laws were passed in the favor of those, back then, even smaller minority of literally only a handful of people driving cars who want to drive fast within cities, and thus jaywalking became a thing. Right. Chevrolet? I'll search for it, yes. I hope I spelled that right. I probably didn't. Hold on. Yeah, but they were, right, that's the bus. The E300 was faced up by this. Yes. It was replaced by the 6-pot 200 MMC. Also Kango. I mean, you say Kango, but I'm going to look at it as well. Hold on. There we go. Ah. I mean, looks okay, but it's just got that modern, angled look that a lot of cars and buses have, which I don't find particularly enticing. It's real? Yeah. Their newest range, the 400 and 200, got that style too. There. Yes. Yeah. The front bumper is nice, the rest is awful. Still look like the E400 MMC still look like the respects, yes. Anyway, I'm not going to read out all of the bus chat between you two. I'm reading it, but I'm not reading it out because I actually want to get some building done. So, right, cars. I mean, I've got to have a pickup truck. Otherwise, this wouldn't be the MVR. Actually, do I not have... Oh, Kango, you might not have all of the assets downloaded. Hold on. That I had. Why is it not in... There we go. Okay, let's download these ones. Not the Jurassic Park vehicle. Don't need that currently. Sure, I have all of the MVR's dependencies. Yes, dependencies, but not necessarily all of the assets that I had already downloaded in preparation for making the MVR. Oh, are those hugs? Are those huge? As in disk space? Not that much, only a few megabytes each. And there are so few cars on this route that I have to use whatever's available. Okay. This should finish downloading soon. Meanwhile, I'm going to look for Lowrider, because that might also yield some good results. There we go. Ish. And there's only that one. Interesting. Is that a... I don't know if this uses the... Oh, it doesn't matter. Right. Let's search for... Actually, I think it's these ones already. There we are. You can't spell Chevrolet without lay. Oh, look at that! What's going on there? Do they have openable... Oh, look! Select position. Hold on. Oh yeah, look, you can open up the doors and stuff on these. Oh, well, these are not very performance friendly then, probably. Nom nom nom. You can. It'd just be Chevro. Yeah. Oh, for like broken ones and that. Whoa. Are you sure these aren't huge in disk space? Well, it was only like 2 megabytes or something. And besides, I have to... Like... I can't make this route worse by not using assets just because of disk space. Okay, I think having a few in there, not all of them have to be populated, just a little bit like that, maybe one in here, the black one, sure. Totally not ominous whatsoever. Like that. Okay, now let's fill in this last little bit there, and then I'll make this grassy area look better. Is there a taxi one? I didn't see one. Let's find... Let's use that one for the corner. Also, at some point, I've thought about this, and at some point I will have to do a spreadsheet with all of the industries on this map. And yes, that includes all of the different warehouses in the industrial zone. And I'm going to have to decide which commodities are imported and exported from where, and how many carloads in a day or in a week they all produce, and stuff like that. And I was thinking that we might be able to dedicate a whole stream to that, because then, well, we're going to need quite a bit of time anyway, and then chat could help with things like naming the industries and things like that. And I mean, that is a great example of why I wanted to, well, one of the reasons of why I wanted to live stream the MVR in the first place. Yeah, that looks okay from the track side. Right, perhaps fine. Yes. Ah, yeah. There's that a lot. Is there a taxi one? Oh, on stream. Could have chat decide, could do Twitch polls. Vote, load orange pallets. Grinds will granite co. Failures on furniture. Well. Well, well, well. We'll see. I never did get Twitch polls to work right. I did put on the module or whatever it's called, the extension thing, when I first started streaming, but I couldn't figure out how to use it. Plus I'd really need plenty of people to be in chat for that to even be useful, because otherwise, well, I could just ask you. Also, I do want a dirt road, because there's quite a bit of empty space in here, and I think maybe having a water tower or something in the middle there could be quite nice. Tutorial. Could we get VIP voicers to come? I mean, that would be great. Failures and Sons, interns, mother-in-law's industry park. Everyone, every hour stream starting in 5 minutes. I see what you mean. Let's use this road, and then let's go find a water tower. Did I put a water tower down here? No, I put a water tower up here, I believe. Sounds like a brilliant place. Ah, yes, this is the water tower I wanted. Okay, let's go. It's time for Animaniacs. Why not just end at ah? It's time for ah. Okay, and then I'll need to put a little bit of this road going in like so. We can have a little bit wobbly, yeah. Hello, Mika School, welcome. Just talking about how when I've got all of the industries in place on this map, we'll do a live stream dedicated to figuring out a spreadsheet for what industries are named and what exactly they transport, like what they receive and what they produce and how many carloads and stuff like that. So that'll be quite nice. Hey, Charles, trust me, I was thinking about ending it then. That seems very sinister. Ending what? The universe? The stream? Or just a sentence? But that would have been like eating the skin off a peach without eating the flesh of it. Ah, what a wonderful way of putting that. XD. No! Do I want to have a hedge back there? Probably yes. Or actually maybe no. Maybe I'll just put a little chain link fence around it. Actually, I've already got chain link fences down here. I don't even need to use the map view. 1 second, if I can find them. I think I used one over here someplace. I thought my other favorite streamer would be on. He was. His stream ended an hour and a half ago. Where is that chain link fence? I know that I've used it back here somewhere. It's not that one. Did I not use it over here somewhere? Question mark? I really thought I did. Ah, this one's the one I wanted, I think. I still ended about an hour ago. More like, well, yeah, but it was supposed to have ended before. Man, you still ain't done? Who? Was supposed to end 1.5 hours ago. I was playing Trainz. Ah, great. Okay, where was I? I was back here. Did you say you want to finish the route? Yes, I did say I want to finish the route. Oh, I see what you mean. Yes, I'm still not done. Okay. Like that. And I think I'm going to put someone on here just for fun. So if we look for people, hold on, are these BS people? Are these third party? I don't know. Hopefully not. But I'm not sure that I want to use those anyway. Trust me, it'll take Paradise about 3 years to complete this map. No, no, hopefully not. Shouldn't be Paradise, maybe double check. Actually, why not? There we go. She's just taking a good view of the town, trying to decide where to move in with her husband after they've gotten married later this day. Although that means I do have to place him as well. He's going to be waiting down here for her. Trust me, he'll have it finished next year, within the year. Yes, place Arab man up there? Maybe? Not sure. Let's have a look. Oh, that, no. Not for this. For a second I thought it was God flying. Ah, did you make the 70s show reference at all, after all? Well, a little bit, kind of, but not deliberately. Who's saying it isn't? Okay, so, like, the thing is, I kind of have to put hedgerows in here as well now, at least for some of these, because otherwise it'll just look a bit too empty. Maybe not have these go all the way, maybe just a little bit. They're not Santa Fe after all. I know, some green paint, I know. Sure. Go ahead, being right back. Go right edge. Okay. Sure, let's extend this one out a little bit as well. So let's have it just like that. How does that look? I think that looks good. Need a few trees. Well guys, I'm kind of tired, so I'll see you on Monday. See you on Monday or tomorrow for Trainz. Bye-bye. VGR Shredders will stream again tomorrow, the MVR, 9 till 11 yes, probably. Tomorrow I'm leaving for my vacation home, so I will make it to stream. Or do you mean so you will not make it to stream? Either way, have fun in, at your vacation home, Elisa. That look, do I want the houses visible there? That looks okay, I think. Okay, let's save, and then I'll put the grass stuff on. The grass stuff, I mean just the grass. Now over here, I think I'll want a little bit of just the grassy texture, maybe put in a little bit of the lighter grass textures in here. Just for a little bit of variation. Although along this embankment here, I do want the splines. Yes, bye-bye. Gonna show me it. Algorithm physics app. Why? Oh, the fun. Oh, right. You're back. That's what. Put that along there. And then let's put in the kind of brighter grass tones first. So then I can paint the longer grasses on top of those. A bit like that. Right. Me have... What? Me have shorthand. What? Is that what you mean? You've got a shorthand? Or you've got shorthand spelling? Or writing? I shortened my typing. Oh, right. I see. Okay, now let's put on more splines. Shortened and sound furniture. Put a bit of this grass in the forest as well. Sort of up to here, I think, is good. I've just got to see about putting some grass along here. Now, yes, I could put more houses on this bit, but I prefer to have the view across. So we've got a view of the road and the houses. But believe it or not, I got a guy's cut? What do you mean? I don't know what you mean. Oh, do you mean haircut? Yeah, what you do with your hair is really not my concern. At least not at the moment. Here's a question. If children are mentioned, why are companies always called XXX and son and never, at least from what I have seen, XXX and daughter? I mean, it depends on the age of the company. It might be that if it's like a company that requires quite a bit of physical labor, then it could have been a father and son doing that physical labor, which a woman, at least back then, would not have been expected to do. So that might be it. And then the name maybe just stuck around. Because society sees father and son and mother and daughter as not being able to be crossed. That might also be it. But I've just never ever seen XXX and daughter with anything. Or maybe it's that when the daughter became an adult, so when she would then have been put into the partnership or whatever, maybe she would have likely married into a different family and thus would not have inherited her parents' company like that. or would not have been part of it like that. Maybe that's also another reason. I have, if I remember correctly. Can't remember the name. If you can't remember it, then neither can I. Yeah, from down here this now feels like a much more reasonably sized town, if the houses begin all the way back here. Also, when's the next stream? My next stream after this one is going to be tomorrow from 9 till 11, Trainz. And then we've got Minecraft from 8 till 11 on Monday. Yeah, Tuesdays do not exist. The same way that someone who doesn't have identification doesn't exist in the legal system. Tuesdays do not exist in the streaming system. And Wednesday I'll be streaming UT Scribble.io. Or maybe even some different sort of party games that we've not even heard of yet. Who knows? Not that that's foreshadowing or anything. Eastern time. Eastern time, I do not know. You can convert it yourself. I think it's 5 hours difference. So if it starts at 9 here, it would start at 4 p.m. for you, I think, if it's Eastern time. I think it's 5 hours. For the US. Well, for the Eastern US. Oh well, try this. If you go onto the Twitch page to the schedule, it should automatically convert it to your time zone if you look at the schedule page on my Twitch channel. I do like how that looks. Although, could need a few more 3D bushes here and there. Tuesday is made up by big companies to charge more for calendars. I shall believe that without questioning it whatsoever, and shall continue under the assumption that it is correct. Also, I did want to have this building here, actually. I did decide that I wanted that there, because it just fits quite nicely. Which means that I will have to actually carve a little bit of the rock away, which I should have done a little while ago. Oh, right. Hello, bot. Oh. You're selling something very nice. Ooh. Just clear that out a little bit. This as well. Because I'll need to put the rock texture back here. And Bob, Bennett, yes please, make it so. Make it so. Don't fall for it, mate. It just wants your credentials, credit card details, all of that. Anywho, see ya on the Wabash. The Wabash. You mean on Minecraft? The river that was named Wabash on Minecraft? Is that what you mean? Or did you reference the real life Wabash River? Actually, it's a bit too big, the brush size for that. Hold on. Pattern size, I mean. Okay, and then I'll put a little bit of this kind of more gravelly texture back here. Yeah, sort of like that, and then I'll just have to remember to also put some cars and things around here. Actually, let's put a couple cars on here now while I'm here so I don't forget. Ooh, these ones are the single ones. Right. But the price is guaranteed to be the best. OMG, a war is breaking out. Oh no, not another one. And the price is lower than any competitor. So what you're saying is that they are beneath any competitor. Also, I do want some news, some old derelict newspapers around here. Not the stacks, just the individual pages. Which is something that I've forgotten to do in quite a few industries and still need to do when I finish detailing some of these areas. Yeah, I like that. That really adds here. Well, don't say I didn't hand out severe warnings beforehand. I forgot to put in cannonball in. Right, to put cannonball in. Right, train. The Wabash cannonball. The Wabash cannonball. As in the train. Honestly, you'd be better off getting a bag of mixed nuts. Dumpster and derelict barrels. To the rescue. Oh, a dumpster, yes, thank you. I don't like nuts. Aww. But they are mostly tasty and mostly good for you, depending on where they were grown and if pesticides were used on them or not. Actually, that should probably go on the side. Apologies. Alright, bye-bye. Thank you for coming, make a school. What is this? We paint ceilings, ceilings, and only ceilings. We don't paint floors because they're beneath us. Yeah. That sounds like a Groucho Marx line. I know it's from the Animaniacs, but still. Right, let's paint this tall grass over here just to get a bit of a better idea of what this looks like with the grass in place before I put in more. Well, Yakko is basically Groucho Marx. I mean, the ears definitely yes, but the rest, I don't see the resemblance whatsoever. Okay, just like that. Yeah, I do need a few more grass plines along this bit. Probably along here. And actually a little dirt road going over to the track for the switcher to kind of back into may also be quite good. Okay, a little bit like that. Maybe let's go over along there like that a little bit, and then have it go into the ground perhaps, although I don't know if it's... Actually, yeah, that'll work. Just stuff like that. There we are. Maybe a little bit of the darker one mixed in as well. Still a little bit of color variation. Oh, is that the link to the Animaniacs animation? Probably. Do we have access to the other? Well, yeah, we do. Because, although, should I have a little... Actually, that's a good point. How are cars meant to get over here to the turntable? I didn't think about that. I suppose the easiest way would be to have... Well, either have a road go across all of this, but if there are trains on the yard ladder here, that's going to be annoying. So either we'll have another short little road going down to attaching down here, which honestly could work, or we have it going all the way along here and connecting up there. But that's on a slope and that's not really going to work well. So I think I'm just going to have a little dirt road going down that way. It's from this. Do a tunnel journalist really long underpass thing? No, this is only like a railway maintenance area thing. It wouldn't warrant anything like that. It's only meant for personnel anyway. Now I've just got to put this down here. What sort of a grade would we get? Maintenance thing? No. I meant like for the engines, for the turntable and water, and maybe I'll put a maintenance track or something in there as well. Who knows? Okay, I think that could work. If I gave it a little bit more smoothing. He says, making it rougher. And maybe pulling in the terrain a little bit so that it is closer to the actual road. Maybe a sign, no entry except railroad personnel. Not in this time. If this was nowadays, then yes, but not in this time. That is a little bit too wonky, hold on. Almost right, I've just got to make this curve a little bit bigger like that. Move this down here so that the pattern isn't so compressed. Then I've got to redraw the grass over this bit and then the dirt texture underneath that. But first I need to actually connect the road up there because I've just remembered that I didn't do that. 1 second. There we go. And this is a bit too straight, so I'm just going to add in a few of these spline points in here, just to be able to kind of make this a little bit less completely straight. That already looks much more realistic, I think. Then let's get the proper color. I guess we've got to go all the way over to one of these other towns for this. This color is the one I meant. No, not the grass. The ballast, yes. Actually, hold on. Does this have a... this doesn't have a rail connection. This farm. Interesting. I mean... if I wanted to revisit this area, not saying that I do, but if I did, I might be able to just extend this line over to here and then have a little railway loading thing here for more grain or something like that. Although, yeah, because we've got a, that's the the bakery, the breadery, because the flour has to go from, well, no, the grain goes from down here to the flour mill, which is down there, and then that would have to go all the way up here, so that might be a good idea. Did I already put down the actual flour mill? I think this was it. Yeah, I think this was it. Yeah, because here we've got the cars for that. So that might be a nice idea. Might give a little bit more interesting switching operations and locals. Broterei, German version of breadery. Yes. Now, does this require any sort of guardrail? I'm sure it's fine. And I will actually quickly place the multiple industry up there to remind me that I wanted to actually put in a little bit of a track going up here to this industry. Because even if this only serves like a car a day or something like that, well, less than that even maybe, it's still interesting to switch potentially. And actually, since we're up here already, I might as well do this very quickly. It won't take long. Do I want this to go straight through here? This is, well, probably not. Actually, I could maybe even... Although if it's that rare of a thing, maybe having this be after the... I mean, if this is the the grain... Actually, hold on. This is the flour unloading. So I think it should be fine just extending this. Oh no, why isn't that straightened? Can I not? Oh, it's because the cars are in the way. Hold on. Or are they on a locked layer? Oh, and you've got your pick list too. You've lost your pick list too. Yes, I have. I know. But that's not your fault. Okay, I'll just quickly, by quickly I do mean very quickly, extend this, move to there. Just sort of going alongside the track, the road track way. And this can be partially buried as well. In fact, I think it would be better if it is partially buried. Although not so buried that the road is... Hold on. I really didn't expect to be working up here this time around. But when you've got a good idea for an area, kind of have to put it in, otherwise you'll forget. Or I will forget. Okay, so if I actually, I'll have to very gently lower the terrain here. Actually, if I'm going to do it like that, I might as well just lower it like this. A little bit there, a little bit here, a little bit there. 1 second. Stuff like that. Can increase the height there a little bit. Just kind of very closely going alongside the road here. Even closer going along the road here, but that's fine. And then here I do want to bury most of this multiple industry as well. Where's the center of it? Probably there. Yeah, that. I can't bury that, unfortunately. Then bury that a bit more. And then here, I'll just put the invisible signal on there. Because again, I don't think that I really need a bumper there. And as for the texture underneath this, I'm probably just going to use the same gravel as the road for most of it. I might put a little bit of a different one, a little bit of a different color underneath the bits that are exposed, like where the ballast is exposed. But other than that, I think that's a great addition. Because I do want the trains to be quite sizable on this route. And if this adds even just one more car to either a local heading down or a I don't know, a passing freight train that's already got other cars connected to it, then that's gonna be good. So this already looks fairly okay, except for this bit, of course. I've really got to just kind of get this over there like this, probably. And then this is, where is that a spline or are these objects? Nope, I think that is actually in fact a spline. Yes, it is. Good. Well, I say good. It's actually a little bit, tiny bit annoying because I won't be able to have those bushes over on this bit now. Well, I suppose I might be able to squeeze them in. Just sort of like that, maybe. I think this looks quite nice. Although that's a bit crushed. Use seal bushes. Seal bushes? I can try. Oh, right, sorry. Wait, is that Bedford? British? What? Lowy? What? Lowy? Wait, really? Buried? Who buries things these days? A lot of people save. The track marks all receive PBR textures and stuff, but the invisible signal never did. I mean, I don't know if the invisible signal is a default Trainz thing or if that's a user-created thing. UCL bush, sure. Surely you can... Surely you would have some vegetation between the tracks. Between the tracks... you mean between the rails? Yeah, these ones look quite good. There's a couple of these along here as well. Yeah, the vegetation between the rails is a good idea, but I will have to move this into the ground for that to look good. Because that is a little bit too high. Just something sort of like this. Oh yeah, this just having this tiny little spur back here improves this area so much. When I built this, I did have, when I put this little farm back here, I did have the idea of maybe adding a little railway spur, but at that point I'd already spent such a long time building this line up here and the town and all that stuff that I really just wanted to move on, so that's why I decided against it. But now I've rediscovered the idea and I'm glad that I did. I'll probably have to change the track condition on this as well, but for that I'd have to kind of give it a little bit of trial and error to see what would work. And over here, I really just need to apply the terrain height. No, not like that. That doesn't work because of the crossing. Hold on. Steel bushes, yes. Well, yes, but not ones that tower over humans. What do you mean? All right, the grass. Yes, yay. Used those bushes a lot on Well Trivia. Yes. Yay, gotcha. Great. I'd also insert a lot more spline points into the track and make it really bumpy. Yeah, that is a thing that I have also considered. Because I did actually do that on my... oh, that's not what I wanted. On that Norfolk Southern / Conrail autumn forest route, that little one that I started, just to try some stuff out. And that worked quite well. So I think that might work here as well. Although I will want the... I think it's the JR... what are they called? The crossing boards. These ones. There we go. Oh yes, what was that called? R4 something, R something 4, and Scarlet's was R3. No, it was TRS 19 R something, I think. Tell you what, I'm just going to place splines over the top of it like this, up to there, and then I'm going to put them down into the ground a bit and then go from there, basically. And yes, I know I will have to add some grass splines on the grasses area, or the grass areas as well. I haven't forgotten about that. Okay, how does that look? That looks pretty good. I do need the grass splines over here, though. For that, I'm going to go back to the area from before and put those there. Oh, that one, gotcha. With the custom load, yeah. I was thinking of the Trainz one you started after Scarlet's R4. Oh, that one. I see what you mean. Yeah, I want this spline. No, that spline, yes. Although I'm going to get rid of this. This is going to be so much fun making sessions for this. Yeah, just like that. And then, actually, while I'm at it, might as well just add a little bit of this spline along here as well, because just a few spots along there makes it look so much nicer. 1 second. I really didn't mean to work on this area today. And yet I'm continuing to work on this area today. Oh well. How does that look? Does that look good? Ish. Needs a little bit more in the middle there. Okay, like that. Hold on. Like that. Good. No, hold on. I need to smoothen this off like that. Good. I know I keep saying that. And then I'll need to get rid of this bumper. Although I am going to replace it with an invisible signal, so that if cars are stopped back here, you can still enter the block basically. Let's say up to there. And then I'll need to get rid of a little bit of the fence. Probably a little bit of a spline down there as well. I've got to replace that. No, that wasn't the correct one. Hold on. I need this one. Yes. Like that, and then let's make the track go a little bit wibbly wobbly. Timey-wimey, yes, I know. Inside the gate? Nah. Although actually for the multiple industry, maybe the multiple industry short would be better here. Hold on. New short track. Hold on. Yeah, I think that's better, even though I can't really have that go into the ground as much, but it actually does appear to go into the ground that much, so that's good. Like that, and that's... Is that how it was? Almost. This needs to be rotated slightly so that this bit is actually straight. Like that. Although now this looks... hold on. 1 second. That needs to be a little bit more pronounced in some places. Yep, that was good. And now this grass needs to be lowered down a little bit as well. And now I can make much more of this track wobbly. Also, I can raise this up a bit. Right, so a trick, so a way you can do that, well, a way I do that sometimes. Hold on 1 second, let me just make sure that that is actually got the height applied to it, is if you just add a whole bunch of spline points like that, it works especially well on a straight piece of track, and you can ever so slightly move them side to side like this, and that can really make it feel like you're going over track that's really not very well maintained. I mean, it even looks like it. Look at that. Kind of wobbling along there. I know, chat, I know. I was just trying to get something done. Nah, they just used the lawnmower on the grassy bits, and they couldn't really do that for the track, so they let it overgrow. Not my problem, they thought. Oh yeah, no, just move the bumper, just move it back. No, I don't want there to be a bumper at the end here. Insert a gate, no. I thought for sure you'd add one. Well, maybe I'll add one, I don't know. It depends on whether the old engine holds together. No, it depends on whether the on whether the other side has a gate or not. Where even is it? Hold on. Is it here? I don't even think there's a fence on this side. Yeah, there's just a fence over back here, which goes all the way along there. There isn't even a... hold on. What was it called? Maybe I'll add one. If you want me to add one, I'll add one. There we go. Right. Now, hopefully, I should be able to just separate that, put that end on there, put that end on there, and it's put the track mark all the way back there. The look, yeah, see, look, it inverts the positions of the. That's so buggy. It inverts the positions of the objects. No, it's not always been like that. It's a Service Pack 5 thing. Hold on. If I change the height of this ever so slightly, is that going to fix things? Maybe a little. Hold on. I think I do need a little bit of this muddy texture over here, just a little bit. Or maybe a little bit more grass or something like that, just so that the field isn't that close over on this side. Just something like that. Right, would look better. Yeah. The sort has always been like that. Nope. So Spec 5 should have undergone some serious testing before it was released. Especially on macOS. Yes. They should have hired you for testing. They should have. Yes. CodeMonkey, hello. When you say inverts positions, how so? And hello. I mean that. Hold on. I'll show you. So. Say that, hopefully this will actually work. So you see how this track mark is on this side of the track and not on this side of the track. Now, if this works the same way it worked before, if I attach that there, see, now the track mark was moved over to this side of the track. See, it rotates the spline so that it's aligned the same way as the spline I'm connecting it to, which means that the positions of any trackside objects get inverted along the spline. See? Like that. I can fix this if I just add a new bit of spline like this, but that gets annoying sometimes. And it does the same thing with signals and junction levers and... Hold on, why is that not... 1 second. Why did I... Oh, is that... 1 second. I need to fix this again. Yeah, because of course changing that length messed all of this up. Hold on. Yeah, now I've got to do this whole bit again. 1 second. Because I added the fence gated, I couldn't just connect it. I had to add a new bit, and because I added a new bit, it... 1 second. Got to redo all this bit. Hold on, just gotta fix this again. Oh, and I've got to fix all the splines again as well. Hold on, no, I'm not doing that, hold on. There's gotta be a better way of doing that. Let me just undo. Hopefully I've got enough undo steps to do this. I've got to undo all the way to the connection of the... Hold on, have I run out of undo steps? No, I don't think I have. 1 second. Not save? No. Ah, there we go. So, there we go. So this is the step where it messed up. Which is, I believe, the step where I... Hold on. What did I do that step? Oh, was it back here? Oh, it's back there. Oh, it might be that... Ah, that makes sense. Hold on, let me just redo all of that. Well, not all of it, hold on. 1 second. I know this isn't very efficient. One second. Did I add this gate after? Okay, yeah, add this gate in. And then... Wait, what happened to the tracks here? The tracks aren't... Okay, I've got to reload the last save game. Yeah. Yeah, that is interesting and annoying. Turns out you should not have a limit to undos or redos. Same with Pixelmator Pro, Blender, etc. Yeah, or at least 1,000. So with Blender, you can actually set how many it has. The limit is probably memory related, right? I don't know. I'm assuming that it has to store the temporary save of an undo. I don't know how it works. I do not know. It might just save the change that was made so that it can then retroactively change it back. So that it can basically apply an inverse change to what was done. So that way you don't have to save the whole thing every time. Instead you can just save the difference. 1 second. So what was the last time I'd saved? Did I put in the... Okay, I just gotta wait for it to load. It looks like I had saved pretty much at the right point. Yeah, but for each undo, it has to have a copy of that. So 6 undoings will be 6 copies of the file back. I don't think that that's how it works. If it copied the entire file for every action that you do, that would get way too large. I think it's just got a list of actions that you're doing. So for example, if I place a bit of track here, like that, or hold on, like that, I'm assuming that it puts, like that it creates a new list, like a list of actions, and it puts in a new element saying that a piece of track has been, a spline has been placed at position this and at position that using this asset. So that then if I press undo, it can look through and then find this spline and then delete it, so that it doesn't have to save the entire thing, the entire file. So that is how I would assume it works, because otherwise the file size would get incredibly large if it saved a new copy for the whole thing. They should put a warning on the undo feature. Warning, the undo feature is experimental and thus should not be relied upon. Using this feature on splines may cause root corruption. Every induced step will require at minimum 1 step's parameters and the previous state of anything it modified in order to be reversible. Not necessarily the previous state of what it modified. I guess it depends on the thing. But if you just know exactly what happened to it, then you should be able to just apply the opposite to it and then automatically get the reverse state of it. But with a game as complicated as this, who knows? Yeah, that makes sense. But it's still going to have store a set array, right? Yes, of course. Granted, it would be less than each copy. Yeah. Yeah, so this bit back here, that's the thing I need to modify for this to work correctly again. I think if I put this into the ground, something like that, maybe? No, hold on. Just going to position it correctly. Something like that. I think I'll modify this slightly still. But all in all, that looks pretty good. Although, yeah, here the grasses do look a little bit high. Because they're just on the tracks. Almost done. Stuff like that. And I'm going to move this down as well a bit. Sort of like this. Now I should add a little bit more of this spline over here, just so that it fits in a bit nicer. I used to have abandoned tracks on pretty much all of my old Trainz routes, because I really liked the idea, the feeling of exploring this abandoned place, rediscovering things, making great discoveries, like a water town or like a castle in an old gold mine or something like that. Yeah, like that. That looks pretty good. And then I'll add one more of these kind of patches of grass over here. And then we'll see about making the track a little bit more wibbly wobbly. Yeah, like that. Right, user. Yes, let's build a route. Lays one piece of road. Trainz. Applying changes. Please wait. 3 minutes waiting. 3 minutes remaining. Haha. Road, alright. Toby's Discovery, shall I? Ha 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 ha. And a Duke repainted with Smudge's face. Wait, did you hear something? Must have been the wind. No, it was the ghost. It was definitely the ghost. Okay, so let's see if we can make this track a little bit wobbly without having to redo the whole height thing. Although, if we're already adding in all these spline points, then we might as well do more with height as well. Though it's really, it can be quite tricky finding the correct spot to place a new spline point in a curve like this, because you want to find the place where it messes up the curve the least. Come on. Oh, and it's back. That's concerning. Can I click any of this? Yes, apparently I can. Good. Although, yeah, that's really a little tricky to do. I think I'm going to have to do, like, redo the height of some of these anyway. That seems okay. Well, maybe if I move it a little bit higher like that. Seems good, and that seems good. So now, if I add in a few spline points along here, I can make it just a little bit more wibbly wobbly. You've got to be careful not to make it too wibbly wobbly, otherwise it'll look strange for some of the rolling stock to go over it. And it especially makes sense for this bit to get wibbly wobbly, because it's on a hill right next to the field, so you can have mud and stuff moving down from the field, and that could also work its way into that. Do I need that one there? I don't think so. Do I want this bit to be wibbly wobbly as well? And the answer is, if I do, well, the question is, if I do, will that mess other things up? The answer to both of those questions is probably yes. So yeah, I've just got to add a few of these spline points along here, just so that I can still keep the curve. And you can see how it's already kind of going up, because it messes up the curves every time you add a spline point in. Actually, I haven't even checked the grade on this. Let's have a look. I'll reach out in a moment. Yeah, I think that's probably... Well, actually, hold on. I want this little thing here to be wibbly wobbly as well. Is that a bit too much? That might be a little too much. Hold on. Yeah, just like that. I think that's fine. Although it's definitely going uphill here, actually. So what's the grade like? Oh, there are some... That goes up to... There are some bits in here that are 4% grade. That's quite impressive. 5% grade. Ah, well, that's very impressive there. This little bit. That's going to be interesting to switch, although hopefully you'll only be pulling or pushing one car into here or out of here. So that shouldn't be too much of an issue. Anyway, with that little distraction hopefully done, actually let's have a little fly along it. So yeah, we actually, let's, hold on. What layer are these on? Temp block, they need to be on the root layer. Let's move these ones over to here again. And let's align them properly. Okay, so this is where the flower gets unloaded. And then the track continues all the way along here. This is fairly well maintained. Then it gets to the gate. And I need to reposition this. Invisible signal, hold on. Oh, is that on the... Oh, wrong tab, sorry. Right, and then here is where it gets less well maintained. Just going up through here. Crosses the road, admittedly with a little bit of dent in it, but that's fine. But it's not fine, 1 second. Gotta fix that slightly. There we go, much better. If the rails would reappear, there we go. Yeah, crosses over here. Although that's still... Hold on 1 second, just gonna fix this little bit here. Crosses across here. And then into there at a really quite steep grade still. Over the hill here and then downhill along this bit. Which means that I'm probably going to move this grass slightly, or not, move this grass slightly, and then along this way. Is that a bit too high? Nah, I'm sure it's fine. And then along here where it will be loaded. So I'm going to need some sort of loading mechanism here, actually. I'll read it with chat. Back? Yeah, you definitely wouldn't want to send a U50 down this, because if you did, you'd be going nowhere. Yes, all the way to the gate and beyond. Huh? Huh? Wow. It's fine, empties go up, right? True. Hopefully, unless the farm needs a new tractor. Track marker, yeah. Turn the gate clockwise a tiny tad. Also, is there a gap for to the left of it? Yeah, I need to fix the fence. I know. Perfection. Yeah, this road's definitely not going to be in the newspaper headlines for centuries for flipping vehicles over. Oh, right, I see. So... how am I going to load vehicles here? Oh, hold on. Is there a small, tiny little single track tipple? I think actually this could be quite good. Although, actually, this has a I mean, not really, no. This asset, it would look good, but it doesn't work quite right here, unfortunately. Although this one might. Hold on a minute. Yeah, this one works. Look, I can just have this come out to there. And that just goes right into the bottom of the silo where the grain is stored in anyway. Look at that. And then the grain goes swoosh down into the... Yes, swoosh is the proper scientific term. Down into here. Ah, I'm really happy with this. That's another industry to go on the spreadsheet. Which doesn't exist yet. Although that is slightly wonky, which is a bit annoying because it means that I can't have the... hold on. I just need to make sure that this is flat. He says making a big hole. No. I just need to make sure that that is flat like this. Good. Use your wooden platform. Use the wooden platform used in the limestone quarry on Hadncott? Nah. But why no bum bum? Isn't that dangerous? I mean... You're gonna... I mean, the thing is that you're only going to be pushing one car into here anyway. So, I don't really think that this needs a bumper. Like, what if the engineer falls asleep while the loco is rolling backwards? Well, then you're gonna have to re-rail some stuff. But yeah, I'm really happy with that. That just adds another little reason to come up here. Because before this, you really only... So all the industries up here. Firstly, you've got the passenger station. Then you've got flour delivery and sugar delivery and bread or general goods pickup. So that's four different things. And then you also had trains that go off of or onto the map, so that either terminate here, like as the thing where it's like, okay, and now we've got to wait here until the next until the track clears, and that's the end of the session. Or a train that's already been waiting here. So that was 5 different things to do up here. But now with this, there's a 6th, which is quite nice. So I'm really quite happy about that. And I suspect that that will also make its way onto the thumbnail. Now, onto the area that we're actually meant to be working on today. I was hoping to maybe get some signals in place, but I think I'll settle for just putting some bushes in. Although not too many, because otherwise it'll probably lag. Just going to put a few of them here and there. I'm placing these on the correct layer, right? Yes. Ah yes, the maintenance tunnel. Dirt road. Yeah. I mean, the dirt road already connected. Not here. I want to use the speed tree ones along here. Not too many though, just a few of them. Oops. Yeah, and I've really got to be a bit conservative with how many I place in this area because, again, there's already quite a lot going on in this area with the town and with the industrial port down there and all this stuff along with the yard. So I really don't want to have too many on here. Someone should build this baseboard IRL on an actual table. Yes, you should, Kango. XD. I wonder where Room's bath has gotten off to. Haven't done anything from them in a while. I neither have the space nor the monetary funds. I mean, isn't the space kind of tied to the funds? Like, if you had the funds, wouldn't that include the funds to have the space? No, there's room for this still in the chat list, apparently. Interesting. Yeah, I guess so. Okay, I need more than anything. No, I need bushes up here. And actually, that little extra industrial spur up there, that little spur by the farm, that was really easy to add. That went really quickly, considering that I added basically a whole new industry to the map. Maybe I should go along some areas of the map and see if I can add another couple of small industries along some places, because that would just make running locals that much more interesting. Also, is that floating there? Yes, it is. Hold on. I guess if I had the funds, I could get workers to build a multi-story basement the size of my property, each for the model railroad sets. Yes. One feature missing from real tables. Here you can undo the glue spillage. Yeah. N3V really needs to fix that. Who wants to undo their mistakes anyway? N3V, if you're listening, Zek, if you're listening, Zek, that was not meant sincerely. Please do not remove the undo feature. That's one of the things that you've got going for you over Omzi's map editor. Do not get rid of it, please. Also, Omzi people, if you're watching this, please add an undo feature. That's a thing that Trainz has got over you. Actually, yes. Omzi people? Omzi people won't ever be coming back. Reason? Money, of course. Yeah, I think you're probably right. But it is unfortunate. Hold on, I really just want to cover this thing in bushes, but it's not going to be easy. I especially want to cover that little... Hold on. CL bush. Oops, 1 second. CL bush. Yeah, CL bush to the rescue. Look. There we go, just covering that little thing up. That fits very nicely. I'm glad you suggested these. But so now I've actually got to add these over here as well, because otherwise it won't look good. You know, Kango, you should probably also stream a bit more Trainz. Because it does seem to run stable on this computer now, at least in Service Pack 5. So the issues you were having before are apparently no longer present here. That's really just Marcel and Rüdiger. Only one of which is on the Lotus team, the former. But the WLP OMSI2 map, Thüringer Wald, did impress me a lot. It's basically like... It basically looks like an ETS2 map that's been imported into OMSI2. Yeah, Sealbush number 2 or Summit, also quite large. I'll have a look. And we are Sealbush Pass, 2% done. No! No! That would be far less than 2%. And OMSI. And OMSI, yes, you should also continue streaming that. But with OMSI, with the map development on that, because it takes so long to do stuff in the editor, in OMSI's editor, I think you really do need to make significant progress off stream on that map. And then to get people watching, because when you first started, there were quite a few people watching those OMSI streams. You need to, if you want people to continue to come back, I think you should, one, make it regular, a regular thing. Doesn't have to be every week, could be every 2 weeks or whatever, I don't know. To have progress made off stream and leave kind of very large scale things for the streams. He says placing individual bushes. But no, yeah, so like adding more tiles or road layout or things like that. Things where in a stream you can actually notice a significant change from when the stream started to when the stream's finished. Also, you should really check where you've gotten all your assets from for that map, so that you don't keep on placing more and more assets that you will have to replace. Yes, I know that's probably very tedious, but I think that it is an important thing to do. Yeah, Charlie says, yes, I would, but alas, I do not wish to sacrifice the game show stuff on Wednesdays. Well, then there are only 24 things you can do. Right. Hold on. I'm just going to place a few of these bushes in here just to kind of fill out some of the gaps between the single bush objects. No, hold on, no. I can use this bush more efficiently, hold on. No, I wasn't talking about the previous president of the USA, no. No, I wasn't quoting corporations, no. I think one more like there, and then yeah, that needs to be lowered down a bit, or maybe you can add a bush underneath. No, I'm still not talking about the president. Well, former president. Yes, we know who you are. Doctor Who reference, I know. I'm the one who made it, mwahaha. Yeah, see now that already looks so much nicer with just some bush objects along here as well. Right. Yeah, I really enjoy Games Night. Please don't bin it. Shadows, you should stream OMSI too. I've got plenty of unfinished projects already. I don't want to add another one to that list. Plus, the OMSI2 map editor looks like, because I'm used to doing stuff in Trainz, where you've got things like copy-paste feature, the ability to undo stuff, where you can just very easily click and drag to move objects around and just keep clicking just to add them. A search filter option, where you've got so many features that I'm used to using that aren't in OMSI 2, in OMSI 2's map editor, that I think for me it would just mostly be frustrating to use that. Although I haven't used it yet. I only ever used OMSI 1's map editor, and that was many years ago. So I can't say for certain yet. Maybe it would be fun. But if I did do something like that, then it would probably be like a small island map or something like that, where it's only like from a on a train scale, where the entire map is maybe only, I don't know, like maybe 3x3 or maybe 4x4 baseboards or something like that. But then I would need like a harbor or something like that, and then I wouldn't have the assets for that because there's no DLS for OMSI 2, and then I'd have to make the assets myself, and then I'd have to reuse your lighthouse, and then, I mean, actually that last point is a positive thing, but anyway, that all sounds like it would take a lot of time. Plus I'd have to figure out how to properly do intersections before I even start developing the route, well, the map. And then I'd have to figure out how to do bus timetable, lane things, and how to do all of that. And there's a few too many bushes along here. No, I'm still not talking about the ex-president, come on. To move that one down a little bit, add one in here. I know I've still got chat to read, but I want to put a few bushes along this bit as well, and then get the thumbnail and then read chat. Because I do realize we've gone past the end time of the stream, technically. Also, I should save. Is that too much? Too many bushes? Is that too much? No, I'm still not talking about the president. Come on, this joke is getting old. Anyway. Yeah, that looks good. I mean, okay, while I'm at it, I'll just place a couple more here. By a couple more, I mean like 200. One more there. And there we go. Save. Right. Save that, and then let's have a look at this. Yeah, I need a little bit more grass in this little area there probably, but that's something to do next time, because I still need to put bushes along all of that grass down there, and I need to put signals along here and down there, stuff, and all over the place. I need to still put grass plants along here, but I think that's probably good for today. So I'm quite happy with that. We filled in this area full of houses, we added grass plants along all of this bit, we added bushes along this, we did a little bit of detail work down there, plus we also, unexpectedly, on an asset gathering trip, extended this line a little bit and basically added this whole rail connected industry back here, faffed around with splines along here and ServicePack 5's really frustrating inversion of splines feature, and I think that's very successful. So now let's just get an angle for the thumbnail, or a Saxon. A Saxon would also work, probably. What would be good? Maybe something over here. Maybe something, I don't know, like that? Would that look good? The trees might be a bit dark on that. Yeah, the trees are a bit too dark on that. Hold on. Ooh, maybe like that. Or maybe just something as simple as... Well, I was about to say as this, but if I have the camera low down, you can't really see the tracks anymore. Yeah, if that's on a thumbnail, you wouldn't be able to see the tracks. Maybe just having it... Although the invisible signal's in the way. Maybe just having it... Maybe like that. Maybe have the wobbly track on it. But again, on a thumbnail, you might not see it because of the grass. Although actually that looks pretty good. Going to get one more screenshot like this. And then actually maybe one like that could be quite nice. Hold on. One of those. So now, chat reading time. Also, let's just quickly save again, because I'm not sure that I saved. Or not, at least. Alright. Yeah, I really enjoyed... I really enjoy games night. Please don't pin it, yes. You should stream OMZ2. I shan't. At least not until I win. Sure is, yeah, because there really aren't many English-speaking people streaming OMZ2 on Twitch. At least last time I checked. He says, placing individual bushes. Well, yeah, but you're doing everything on stream. I know. Sure is, yes, definitely. Some trees have useful shapes to bushify slopes with, if you bury them enough. Yes, I've actually already used that technique quite a bit on the Haddoncourt tramway, which will release soon. It's finished. It just needs to go through final testing with Slovak Eagle streaming it, and there are also already a few points that I need to fix. The first two parts of that are, by the way, already linked on my YouTube in the Sharedise Things Elsewhere Trainz stuff playlist, whatever it's called. So if you want to spoil yourself, then you can watch those, or if you would rather experience the route yourself when it releases for Tiers 19 only, well, Tiers 19 plus 22 probably, then you can wait. So grateful for OMZ map tools. It tells you all the objects you've used and where they are. See, Kango, we do bury things. Oh yes, I did it myself. In Brentiu, on my map. XD, yes, fireweed. Fireweed. That's a bit of a non sequitur. I know what you mean, but not here. Although, actually, maybe a bit of... Hold on. 1 second. No, that's not the right one. 1 second. Fireweed group. That's a bit of a small one. Ah, that one's probably the right one. You mean just a little bit along here, like that? Why not? Let's... Oh, that's not what I meant. Although that seems quite bright. To the point where it might actually be distracting. Although over here it looks fine. Sure. Sure is. I meant stream OMSI2 driving. Oh, I thought you meant building. Yeah, of course. I don't mean build a map. I didn't mean build a map. Oh. I mean, in OMSI2, the objects list is usually quite organized, as it normally only displays objects that are located on the currently displayed tiles. Yes, but what if you want to place a new object that you have not used on the map so far? What then? What if I wanted to place, I don't know, what if I wanted to place a, I don't know, a fire hydrant or something like that? Or maybe a specific bridge or something like that. How would I find those assets? I mean, OMSI2, the object, alright. Oh, yes, island. That's an idea I had, actually. I could make a ferry asset for you. I mean, if I did that, which I'm not going to at the moment, maybe. Good evening, Sir Shadowdice and Sir Kangafango. Hello, Alcinor. It has been a long time. How are you? You're just catching the end of the stream, unfortunately. Yeah, hey, evening. It's cold today. Yes, it is cold. I wasn't out today. I was. It's quite cold. But I did record some lines. Oh, what? Oh, right, I see. It's cold out, but also cold in. Oh. I hope that it snows. Sure, this looks beautiful. Thank you. Yes. Yeah, you'll be right. Back at it again tomorrow. You did so much. That's a good stream title idea. What? You did so much? Feffing around on Stephen's Pass. If I had Stephen's Pass. Yeah, change the time of day. No, not at the moment. Why not have the invisible signal on there? Well, I wanted to look a bit more scenic, I think. Bird's eye shot from farm extension. Nah, don't want to highlight the tracks in right now. Saw myself? Nah, or did you watch it live? I meant Code Monkey and Alcinor, not the people watching. Also, you're doing that already, spawning with a completely free of charge UK route of this detail. Also read it. That looks nice. It's distracting. Perfect. That'll just add to the challenge. No, because I don't want to draw your eyes away too much from the stuff that I want you to pay attention to. Alright, thumbnail. If you guys want to do OMSI driving streams, I have a plethora of Brighton liveries at your disposal. Thank you very much for the offer. If you wanted to place an object not used on the map, you'd either need to import the .sco directly, navigating through OMSI2's scenery objects XXX, or import directory, which imports all the objects in a folder. Yes, but how would I find it? I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. Yes, it has been a while. Been busy around here. Not had a lot of time to watch streams. Yeah, that makes sense. Well, it's good to hear from you again. Yes, also a map? Yeah. I'm not that talented. It took me a few hours just to import the terrain data. I see. Right, so I did save after I placed this stuff, yes, good. So with that, thank you all very much for watching, and see you tomorrow at 9 for some more. And with that, maybe for Lotus if it's easier. Right, Lotus. Anyway, good night. I'll bust through. Good night, Alcinor. Good night, Code Monkey. Good night, Kangafango. Good night, Roomsbath. Good night, everybody else who's watching as well. And see you tomorrow. If you don't have too much installed. Merge. Yeah, lots of stuff, yes. Lots of chat, yes. Good night. Bye-bye.